right. So one of the challenges or the things that I see, what's a challenge for them, of course, that I see with people in the gym and close to me as well, when it comes to fitness, is that they go to the extreme. I know we're in the, what I mean is, because we're in the society now where everything is overnight. We go to Amazon, we get it in a day or two. You know what I mean? We type something in the computer with the speed. It's literally like at the snap of our fingers, right? So this is how we think the body works and how we want results when it comes to fitness, right? And I think that is definitely the wrong approach. There are some things that actually still take time, and your body is one of them. You know, so whether you're trying to put on weight or lose weight, most 9 times out of 10 is the latter when dealing with clients. And what I see is that people aren't patient and they're not aware of what they're doing and what kind of imbalance that they're causing their body when they do these extreme workouts or diets or fad diets. All right, so we're going to talk about how by going too extreme doesn't give you the result that you want. All right, and when you go extreme, whether they're fad diets or not, they work in the beginning, like short term. And shout out to Stan Efton because he has a 3S principle that he says simple, sensible, and sustainable. And I agree with that. You want to keep it simple, and it has to make sense to you, and it has to be sustainable for the long term. I remember where years ago, I had a friend where she was going to the doctor, and the doctor, I guess he was a nutrition, whatever he was, right? And she cut the weight, looked good and everything, but the weight was going by too rapidly. So what happens now? You can't sustain it. So then you end up putting back on the weight that you've lost, right? And you hear that too with people. Oh, I'm just going to cut out carbs, or people, oh, I'm not just going to eat rice because they're trying to drop the weight quickly, and they cannot maintain that for longevity, meaning over a protracted period of time, or for a lifetime. You know, with me, I tell clients eat that, but just watch what you eat, right? So, and even sometimes, even if it's a workout split as well, I'm gonna keep doing more to try to get to my results faster. Listen here, y'all. Everything is mathematics. Either you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing, right? So always keep that in mind, right? Like I said, these it's a trap, really, if you don't have the knowledge or if you're not up on game, because extreme programs do work in the short term, but and most people don't know that it's because it's newbie gains. Your body is going into shock and they're trying to adapt to what you're doing. That's why sometimes you will lose the weight quickly and then you halt and you're trying to figure out what's going on. Or when you're training, you start seeing the results and you're like, oh, I'm gonna keep pushing harder. Tisk tisk. No, don't want to do that. Right? Because remember, your body, the first law of nature is self-preservation, right? So when you go in that caloric deficit and it's aggressive like that, what happens is your body is going to slow down because your body adapts. Because they're like, hold on, we can't sustain this for a long period of time. This is why some people they would be in a deficit and they're still gaining weight. And they're asking like, how, what's going on? And sometimes if your coach is wise enough and they're experienced enough, they'll tell you, eat a little bit more. And I'm like, yo, I'm eating more and I'm losing weight because your body is using the fuel that it needs. All right. So the questions you got to ask, there's a difference before you ask these questions, what works and what's sustainable, right? So one question is, does this effects change? Which it works, right? And the second one is, can I commit to this system or live in this system? 9 times out of 10, it's yes to the first one and no to the second. What you want is a system where you can comfortably live in so that you can sustain it, right? Like I said, whether micro to the macro, always think of systems, not just goals and everything like that, right? And it's not really a discipline thing too, why it's not working. It's really biology and that you are, right? So when you go in that caloric deficit, your body deregulates. And remember, the goal of the body is always to be in homeostasis, right? Some type of equilibrium or balance, right? So when your body is on unregulated, it throws every other system out of whack, right? It's like a cascade effect. Your thyroid is out of whack. Leptin, that's the hormone that makes you feel like you have enough energy, right? Your cortisone level is gonna climb. Your sleep is gonna suck. You know what I mean? Your metabolic rate is gonna go down, right? So these things here, and that relationship there is thermogenesis. So remember, with energy, everything is energy, right? So we either trying to burn or keep, right? So with your body, it's an inverse relationship. So if you're trying to lose weight, you burn more. Just a general rule of thumb: you burn more and you eat less, right? That's the relationship is inverted, right? And it's the same thing with volume training. Sometimes it goes into junk volume, and people think the more I do is the more results I'm going to get. And I spoke about this in a previous video with one of my clients. He did he didn't follow the macro plan I gave him because he was trying to speed up the results, and it backfired on him. I asked him, did it work? He's like, nah. But that's what basically it is. You know what I'm saying? So when you do that, also you put your body in a state of chronic stress where the cortisol level is high. And remember, you grow when you recover. So keep doing more. You're going against your nervous system. And remember, it's about alignment. You're trying to work with your body to get that kind of results. So you just got to pump your brakes a little bit and take it easy. All right. Because like I said, you're going to put your body in, instead of, it's going to be in survival mode instead of striving mode. All right. So you want to keep that in mind. All right. So this is, and another thing that plays a part in it that most people overlook is fatigue. You have to rest. I think that's like number 3 on the list, outside of mindset, uh, nutrition. There's rest in your training. To me, you know, because a lot of people will come to the gym and affect it. Their poor quality of sleep or not resting will affect their performance, right? And it's not even about I would say the willpower. They try to will themselves, but when you think about willpower, it's a finite. It's not infinite. It's a finite drive. I would say. If you don't believe me, ask the Green Lantern. That's why he has to recharge his ring, right? So you gotta sleep. It's the same thing. And then what happens? Your muscle fatigues under that type of load, right? And when you go extreme programs that you're trying to do so much too quickly, or even over a long period of time, which you can't sustain anyway. So it's not going to be a long period of time, but it's going to feel like it. 4 weeks in, you're going to tap out and wonder what happened. And there's no benefits to it. You want to be intentional with what you do. You know what I'm saying? And we usually don't see this collapse right away. That's why we think it's working. It's like going off a cliff. It's gradual. You know what I mean? And shout out to Myron Golden, because I heard him say something. I found it profound. He said, "What gets measured get managed, and what gets ignored becomes messy." So we're trying to prevent or limit the messiness and manage what we can so we can measure it. And that's what real progress is. All right. All right. So another thing is not, I'm a firm believer in less is more. Like I just told you at the beginning, it's either add and subtraction, multiplying, dividing. But it's not doing less and hoping. You're still working, but the intention is more potent, and you're keeping the intensity there. So you want the potency and the intensity in what you're doing, right? And I think that will give you a better stimulus, and you can sustain that over a period of time. And you're working more with your body as well. You don't want to work against it. All right. And when I say intensity, you ain't got to go crazy hard, like you're like brutal. Just moderate to brutal, right? Moderate to brutal, not too much brutal. You're gonna kill yourself. So I think, anywhere from 3 days, sometimes two, but 3 to 4 days. Maybe you can squeeze in 5, but it's all about um doing something that's sustainable, that fits your lifestyle as well. I know people that go to the gym 7 days a week, and I'm like, you're crazy. So your body's gonna shut down. What's so funny? I remember when I used to work in the hospital, and people used to retire, and then 2 years later, We would hear so and so passed. I'm like, yo, didn't they just retired? And I was talking to a coworker of mine and a friend, and during the conversation, we was like, you know why? Because they never learned how to rest. So now with their body going constant like that, remember, although things in nature are constant, it's never extreme. Like take for summer example, it's gonna be like 80 degrees. Sometimes you get a little heat wave, and then it goes right back down. So it is. It's a rhythm, law of rhythmicity. I keep saying that as well. These people been going at such a high pace, right? In a heat wave for so long. When they slowed down, their body wasn't used to it, so they end up burning out. You don't want to be like that. All right. So that wasn't sustainable for them. They ain't take time for themselves. And self-care is definitely a must. All right. That's why it's called a fitness journey, not a sprint. Stop sprinting. All right. And it goes with your systems as well. So remember, you want to get a system that's sustainable, that works for you for your life for a lifetime. Because it doesn't make sense working out and 2 day time you breaking down. You want to be there healthy for yourself, and you can help those around you as well. All right. So steady progress. All right. Now, for my trainers, of course, because I am a personal trainer first, this is one of the things that we have to educate our clients with, because they come to us. I remember one girl told me she tried to lose 30 pounds like in 2 weeks. Although she was joking, she's been a little facetious. But I'll say your body's not Amazon Prime. It doesn't work like that. And if they come to me with that, with them unrealistic expectations, I don't work with them. I'm not the guy for you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't care how much you pay me. I'm not gonna sell you bullshit just to get your money. And have you misled with unrealistic expectations. You know what I'm saying? So when they come to you, they ask you for programs and meal plans like that. You got to explain to them why we're doing what we're doing and how we're doing it. It may take a little bit longer to get there, but it is safe, because at the end of the day, it's still health and wellness. Their well-being is just not the physical, but you want to make sure that their mental is good as well during this process, and that they can sustain what you're giving them, right? Because once they leave you, you want to know that they're on their own. I look at it as uh, parents to a child. You want to make sure you're the moral compass to them in fitness terms, but then they can go out on their own. And then when they need to come back to regroup, they come and hit you back up. You know what I'm saying? So always keep that in mind. All right. And you end up keeping your clients like that for the long term also. All right, guys. So in my conclusion, don't go extreme. It's no need to do that. Trust the process. Take your time, and if you need help, get a trainer. There's nothing wrong with asking and making that investment in yourself to help you along the way. Because if you do this incorrectly, you can you can hurt yourself. You know what I mean? You have systems, your body system shutting down because you wilding out, following the bad diets, or injuring yourself trying to go too extreme with a workout plan. All right, get a competent trainer, tap in with them, and make the right decision. All right. It's an investment in yourself, and you can't go wrong when you invest in yourself. All right. And if you're looking for that investment, click the link in my description. I got you. All right, little shameless plug there. But this is Alchemy Fitness signing off, where we transfer you from lead to gold. Train hard, train smart, and train safe. Peace.